All right. Good evening, everyone. This is the Air Conservation Commission meeting. It is Thursday, June 10th, 2021. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, Governor Baker issued an emergency order temporarily suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. Public bodies otherwise governed by the open meeting law are temporarily relieved from the requirement that meetings be held in public places, open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberations through adequate alternative means. This meeting will be broadcast live on Channel 8 and on Zoom. The public may participate remotely by following the call-in information on the bottom of the live broadcast screen. For the Zoom meeting information relating to remote participation, please contact Joanne Kristoff, Conservation Administrator at concom@ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8220 extension 143, or Cindy Knox, IT Director at cknox@ayer.ma.us or at 978-772-8220 extension 150. And I believe this might be our last Zoom meeting, which I think is a really good thing. Any public meetings or hearings that are started this evening and we need to continue, we'll have to continue them in the public meeting held at the town hall in the first floor meeting room. I'm not sure about a hybrid type situation. It's not clear yet if that's going to be available to us, so we'll just have to hold off and see. One thing that I am sure of, though, is that when we start meeting in public, I'm going to have to up my game as far as personal hygiene. The one shower a month is not going to cut it.
Oh, you do it that often?
I do.
I'm every 5 months. It's been.
We have in attendance this evening commissioners. We have Jen Amaya as member. We have George Bacon as member. We have Jess Gugino as member clerk. We have Mark Phillips as vice chair, myself, John Schmallenberger, as chair, and we have Joanne Kristoff as conservation administrator. Did I forget anything? I'm hoping this will be the last time I have to do this. Is there a confirmation of agenda?
I have one amendment to the agenda. The public meeting that reads request for certificate of compliance Woodland Way with no assessor's map or parcel number is actually a request for an extension order of conditions for 186 Woodland Way, DEP file number 100-0280, assessor's map 36, parcel 180. Did you get all that, Jess? Other than that, the agenda is fine the way it's written.
All right. Is there a motion to confirm the agenda as amended?
Second.
All right. It was moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. We'll do a roll call vote. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess, how do you vote? Aye. Okay. Mark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. It passes unanimously. Do the approval of meeting minutes. Has everyone read the minutes, and does anyone have any changes? Nope. Nicely written, Jess, as always.
Wonderful job.
Yeah. Is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes for, what was the date of that?
5/27.
On 5/27, 2021, as written.
So moved. Second.
Okay, it was moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Do a roll call vote. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, passes unanimously. Are there any payables reports this?
There are no payables this time.
All right, very good. Okay, we have our first item this evening is a discussion. Oh, before I forget, anyone who wishes to participate, please do by Zoom or telephone. So this evening, our first item is a discussion on beaver management plans. What do you have for us, Joanne?
Well, I have a little bit of an update about new beaver situation. They seem to be out and about raising havoc on our landscape. The culvert at the end of Rosewood Ave Extension has a beaver exclusion fence built around it. It's a three-sided box made of probably about 8-inch square welded metal mesh that's meant to keep the beavers from getting into a culvert and making a blockage in the culvert itself. And so what these wily creatures did was to use the exclusion fence as a reinforcing framework for a big, beautiful dam
Mm,
that backed the water up to the point where it came up and over the end of Rosewood Ave Extension. And on the far side of the culvert, the beavers were actually building a dam across the roadway itself.
really, across the road.
It was extraordinary.
Mm,
So the beaver exclusion fencing is actually on private property. So I called the property owner, and because the water was not only coming up and over the roadway, but was up over several sewer manhole covers, DPW was willing to send a machine to clear the dam. This wasn't a culvert blockage, this was an actual dam. So I helped the landowner get an emergency permit from the Board of Health. We have a draft of an emergency certification that I need you all to vote to authorize me to sign. And the clearing work happened last Friday, and I have been flat out. I haven't even been over to see what it looks like. The landowner is going to be contacting Beaver Solutions because this seems like a really good place for a beaver deceiver or possibly some beaver elimination. But the landowner said he would start with the beaver deceiver and see how things go. So that really makes getting a beaver management plan put together all the more important. Dan, the town engineer, had sent us Holliston, the town of Holliston's beaver management plan, which seems kind of complicated and cumbersome to me. So I've got a question out on the MACC forum where members of MACC can ask questions of other members, and I'm hoping some some other town has some experience with this so that we don't have to invent a beaver management plan from scratch. I've also been collecting some resources around beaver issues, and I think I sent you all a link to this. Does this look familiar? This is wonderful. This was written by Scott Jackson at UMass, and it's specifically about beavers in Massachusetts, and the history of beavers, beaver population biology, human beaver interactions. It really, it's only 10 pages or 12 pages or so. I strongly recommend that you all read it. I learned a lot of really interesting things about beavers, and I think this will help inform our beaver planning. So that's my update about the beaver situation.
What about, there was another culvert blockage over on Groton Shirley Road? Didn't we get
Yes.
something from the DPW that said, I believe, they are no longer doing culvert maintenance for beavers?
Yes, and that they were awaiting communication from us. So I did write back and say, please clear the culvert. And again, I haven't had a chance to go over there to see what the situation with that is either.
And just correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it a couple
you.
meetings ago, wasn't the DPW working on a management plan and talking about getting a consultant, and now that's gotten thrown onto us apparently completely?
Yeah, I need to talk to Dan to see where he is with that. I think this needs to be something that we do together.
I would think.
And so the more information we have under our belts about beavers and sensible ways to coexist with them, the better our plan will come out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you said that we need to authorize you to
Sign,
sign for the,
yeah, the emergency certification for
Yeah.
the removal of that beaver dam.
okay. Is there any discussion about that before we vote on that?
And this is the removal of the Rosewood Avenue one.
Yes.
Okay.
Is there a motion to authorize Joanne Christoph to sign the emergency removal of the beaver dam at Rosewood Ave?
So moved. Second.
Moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Do a roll call. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess, how do you vote? Mark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, passes unanimously. All righty, you'll take care of that for us. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Okay, our next item this evening is a discussion on ponds weed treatment field notes. And this is from Water and Wetland, their second application on Flanagan's Pond. It was only Flanagan's Pond, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share my screen with you all to just show you. We get these lovely field notes from Water and Wetlands every time they come to Ayer that include a narrative of what they did and then photos. And you know, on a miserably hot June day, I'm very glad that their biologist was out in a boat on one of our ponds, just doing stuff around the water. So The interesting thing that they noticed this time, can you see my pointer?
Mhm.
These white areas are the fanwort that's showing the effects of sonar. They, I'm not totally sure what the mechanism is of this herbicide, but in the narrative it says that when they see white areas like this at the tips of the growing plants, that means the plants are taking up the sonar and that the treatment is being effective.
They're turning into zombie fanwort.
Zombie fanwort, beware.
Yeah.
Yep.
You guys want me to weigh in scientifically what's going on? It's
No.
Bonnie here.
No, we appreciate the offer, but we are limited on time.
Okay. It's
There-
just,
there-
it's chlorophyll and it's inhibition of chlorophyll production.
Good.
Okay, all righty, thank you. What else, Joanne? Anything else?
No, this is, I think I'm gonna figure out a way to post these field notes on our webpage so that if other people are interested in following the process, they, this is a really nice resource that we're getting from Water and Wetlands, so.
Okay, all right. And they're gonna treat lilies in later in the season, and they're gonna come back to Flanagan's on June 28th for a booster.
Yes.
And
Yep, and then I think at the end of the summer, they're gonna go over to Pine Meadow and do some lilies and some Phragmites work over there, as well as Phragmites on Sandy Pond.
all righty, very good. It's nice to see him out there. doing
Yeah.
Anything else on weed treatment before we move on?
Nope.
Okey-dokey. Next item this evening is a discussion on waterways signs project work plan.
Yes, so I had a brief in the hallway meeting with Mark Phillips about looking at the spreadsheet that our grant writer had started for the tasks to get the sign project done. And Mark, I'm wondering if you had any chance to look at any of that.
I did not.
Okay.
After I left you, I got caught up, but there's not a huge amount of tasks there, so I should find some time shortly to get to it.
Okay, good. Well, and it's something we could do over the phone too. George wants to also help.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Didn't we get an email from Mr. Bacon saying he also wanted to do work on this?
Yes, I think it was an in-person. Yeah, so we'll figure out a time to get us all together and get this figured out and get it moving forward.
Yeah, sounds good.
In good hands. Good hand. Anything else on that before we move on?
Nope.
All right. Next item this evening is a discussion on managing conservation office workload.
Actually, John,
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I did want to go back to that. Joanne, the first thing on the list though was outreach to artists to create map. I was just curious about that. Are we going to do something freeform or something that we would copy that the town already has to work from? I don't know if you had any ideas on that yet.
Oh, well, we have a proposal from an actual artist to make a watercolor map of this project, and it happens to be first in the list, but it really is probably the last thing that's going to get done. And it's going to be part of the website presence with the QR codes and all of that. So we already know who the artist is, and I have her contact information.
Okay, all right, great.
Yeah, so list of tasks, I think, are in no particular order. And I think what we need to do is not only figure out what all the tasks are, but to put them in an order that makes sense. So
Yeah,
that is one of the
that's kinda what I was
tasks.
thinking. So, yep,
Yeah, it just is, happens to
an
be the last.
unlisted task. Okay. I'm good, John. Thanks.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. So our next item is the discussion on managing conservation office workload update. We had a very, I thought, productive preliminary meeting with Jess, Eugenio, and myself, Joanne, Christoph, Robert Pontbriand, and Carly Antonellis last week, and spent about an hour and a half discussing how the workload has changed in the past 4 years, how it's dramatically increased due to Ayer's rapid growth, and and also because of the pandemic was an issue as well, but it would still be an issue without the pandemic. That there's just too much to do for one person, and so it was just to talk about it, try to brainstorm and go away, come back. If you had a wish list, what would it be? And we're going to meet again in a couple of weeks. And
End of next week.
oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yep, end of next week. So is there anything you'd like to say, Jess or Joanne, about the meeting?
One thing that, Joanna got in that information right before the meeting that this Mass DEP had also just released information that the central region, which is our region of Massachusetts, they have seen a 60% increase in work and permitting that they're doing, or reviews that they're doing, which pretty much tallies with, I think, the increase that we're seeing. And we did re-emphasize the point that you made, Mark, which was that we're never done with the property. Once, say, a developer builds a house, then a homeowner moves in, and then the homeowner has things that they want to do in jurisdictional areas. So it's a constant process of, so we're never just finished. And that was a really good point to be able to make and attribute to Mr. Phillips, the wise and wonderful. But, yeah.
Mm.
And I thought the other thing that, talking to the town manager, there's an understanding that, given some recent comments about zoning enforcement at a select board meeting, I think they're starting to understand there's some needs for some structural changes in town hall to, because the town is growing and changing, and town halls has to sort of grow and change in its own way to keep up with that. And it's not just us that's being overloaded, but the other point I was thinking was, I think Carly had said something about, meetings that go over 2 hours, people start to go brain dead. And we generally do, when we're live, we do generally go over 2 hours, but we don't go brain dead. However, it's the same point is the increase in the number of balls that Joanne's job has to juggle is similar to that. It's like, if you're juggling 20 balls, you can sort of manage it. But if suddenly you're juggling 40 balls or 60 balls, you get that brain dead effect. You're not as effective on any of the balls.
Mhm.
That's where we need some help.
Yeah, we need some help. I am definitely at the place where this is just too much to keep track of. We have a lot of projects going on, and yeah, it's just too much for one person.
Yeah, the goal is to make this sustainable,
Yep.
and the job enjoyable. So she stayed. We want her to stay.
Yeah, that's the underlying thing. So we don't lose our very excellent agent, administrator, etc.
Any other comments from
Swamps.
commissioners?
Oh, yeah, and the last thing, oh, well, two things. One was the town manager indicated he was going to be doing everything possible to remove Joanne's position from, should we say this?
Sure.
Oh, from the clerical union, because it's a professional position. It's not a clerical position. And then the second thing that was on the agenda was when were we going to meet with the select board? Because we need boards like ours need to be communicating with the select board more so they know what's happening. And I think both John and I reiterated that we'd really like that to be a whole commission meeting and posted as a joint meeting. So I think next week, John, you're going to be pushing on getting that date, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It was a good start. I felt good about the first meeting, and there's going to be more to come. So we're looking for a solution. I think we'll be successful. Anything else? All righty. Next item this evening is the public meeting continued. Request for determination of applicability at number 8 Calvin Street, Jose Mercado. Nice to see you this evening, Jose. How are you, sir? Yep, I think you're muted. No, I think hey, Jose, I think you're on mute.
What about now?
There you go.
Okay. Hi,
Yes.
everyone.
Hi.
Okay, so based on the last meeting, on the meeting that we had here in my house, we simplified the whole project. I sent Joanne a sketch of what we plan to do, which is to build the deck. The structure is going to be right on the ground. Towards the end of by the water, in order to balance that the whole piece of the structure, because it's going to be lower by the water than from the ground, we could use some concrete deck blocks or similar to that, just to balance it.
Mhm.
and to hold it. First of all, it's going to be bigger. It's going to be 16 feet instead of 12.
16 feet?
Right. And then the second picture was an idea. We saw that this online, and it's to give you an idea of, we're just going to put 2 poles and hold the deck to those 2 poles. So there's not going to be any excavation or anything like that. It's just practically going to be sitting on the ground.
And the weight of the platform, the extended length of the platform will
Right.
support the part that's cantilevered over the water.
Exactly, which is only 2 feet. We're just going to leave overlap in the water, and then it's going to be big enough and heavy enough that it's not going to be. But we're still going to support, with the poles to make sure that it's just giving more security and balance.
Jose,
Did everyone have access to that drawing? The commissioners, you have access to that drawings? Y'all saw?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Any questions or comments on the changes?
So I saw the drawing, the new drawing, I believe, without the excavation and such. I guess I'm still unsure now what you're talking about with regards to the poles just sitting on the ground at the house.
Well, we're probably going to dig up. They're going to be in ground with a little bit of cement in order to make, but it's just a small. There's not going to be a big excavation or anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the poles are still going into the ground.
Into the ground, yeah. Those 2 poles into the ground to hold the the deck, which is, it's not gonna matter much because the deck is gonna be 16 feet long.
Right,
And it's gonna be a pretty heavy structure.
right. Are you still doing 16-foot steel beam then?
No,
No, not steel at all?
no, we're not gonna, we're just gonna build the deck, put it on the ground, hold it with a 2 bolt, and balance it with 2 concrete deck blocks.
Yeah, okay.
It's very simple. It's completely simplified the whole project.
Okay, so no concrete, no no
Footing.
no sonotubes or anything, right? Nothing?
No,
Okay. All right.
Any comments, Jen? Thank you. No, you're all good. George? All good. Jess?
I'm good.
Yeah, seems like it's much simpler and much cheaper for
yeah,
you.
exactly. I'm happy that it was much simplified and of course, less money.
Any other comments from people that are viewing? Okay, then I guess we'll vote on this. Is there a motion to issue a negative determination at number 8 Calvin Street, Jose Mercado?
So moved.
Second?
Was moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. We'll do a roll call vote. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess, how do you vote?
I,
Mark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. So negative determination is a good thing in this instance. And Joanne will submit this probably early next week. Yep. And then there is the 10-day waiting period before you can start your project. So if you hear nothing back from DEP in 10 days after Monday or after they receive it, I'm not sure which is it.
It's after the date of issuance, which will be Monday. So I email it to them. Jose, you could either come to town hall to pick it up, or I have to put it in certified mail to you.
I have to go to town hall because I need to speak with Charlie regarding remember there was something missing.
Yes.
So I could go there like maybe Wednesday,
Okay, good. Well, I'll
Tuesday or Wednesday.
yeah, I'll issue it for Monday and I'll just hold it until you come pick it up.
Perfect.
Great.
That's great. And so I just have to wait until I get that in order for me to start. How does it, when can I start the project?
10 days after this coming Monday. If you don't receive notification from DEP, then you can start your project.
I see. Okay, that works.
Good. All right. Well, good luck with your
Thank you so
project.
much. Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Good
Okay.
night, guys.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye-bye. All right, our next item this evening is public meeting continued, RDA at number 15 Oak Ridge Drive, Jeff and Bonnie Tillotson. And I believe Bonnie is with us this evening. She was. There
Yes,
you are.
I am here.
How are
Jeff
you,
is
Bonnie?
not, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I'm fine, thank you.
We got an email from Jeff saying that he was occupied somewhere else, but nice to see you. We had a nice site walk at your house a week ago, whenever that was, and got to see what you're proposing to do. Seems pretty straightforward. There's no changes on your end. So are there any comments from commissioners?
I'm good.
Good. Comments from anyone viewing? All right, well, that's pretty easy, huh? Is there a motion to issue a negative determination at number 15 Oak Ridge Drive for Jeff and Bonnie Tillotson.
So moved.
Second.
Did
Okay,
we have
who-
inspection of the erosion controls or anything, or
Uh,
what do you think?
Yeah, that's just kind of our standard condition that
Okay.
erosion controls will be installed and I will come look at them before work begins.
Okay. So I'm sorry, was it, you made the motion, George, and was seconded?
Yes.
Okay. We'll do a roll call vote then. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Joanne will send that off on Monday. And if you hear nothing in 10 days, you know the drill. Why am I telling you?
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We appreciate it.
So Bonnie, somebody could come to town hall to pick it up on, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Otherwise I have to put it in certified mail.
No, I can come pick it up.
Okay, just give me a call to make sure I'm there before you.
Yep. Yep.
Good.
Okay. Yep. Good. Thanks. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Nice to see you all.
Nice to see you too.
Take care. Thanks.
Our next item this evening is a public meeting, RDA at number 38 Wright Road. Patricia Timmons, if I said that correctly. Are you with us this
34 or
evening?
38 right road.
Yes, I am.
I'm sorry, did you say 38?
It's 34 Wright Road.
34. Okay, yep.
That's me.
You like Patricia or Patty, or what do you?
Patty is fine. Thank you.
All righty. How are you this evening?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm better today. I'll be honest with you. This weather's pretty
Very
nice.
happy it cooled off.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little idea of what you are proposing to do?
So Patty, I can share two things with the commission. I've got the sketch that you sent.
Yep.
And I also have, let's see, I'll put the sketch up. And I also have a satellite photo of your property.
Yep.
Oh, what did I just do? There it is. So this way you have visual aids.
Yeah.
Might make it a little easier to talk to people about what your plan is. Can you all see this
Yep,
well enough?
I
Okay.
think so.
All right, Patty, so if you want me to point to anything, you can just tell me what to point to.
Okay. Basically, what we're wanting to do is just in this flat area, Joanne, where I drew in my sketch, we just want to put down some stone or gravel, just to kind of, it was just like, when we first moved here, that's what, there was stone and gravel down, and it just got a little, it was like, but we cleaned out all the leaves and brush and whatnot, and we just wanted to replace, put the gravel down so it doesn't get, and we also had like a little poison ivy infestation over there, so we just kind of want to keeping it covered, so hopefully it doesn't get like overgrown with weeds and poison ivy again, basically, more or less.
So that's this area to the left of your driveway?
Yes, it's to the left of my driveway. Yeah.
Satellite photo. So on the satellite photo, can you see my cursor
Mm-hmm.
going
Yeah.
up and down? This is the intermittent stream that runs underneath Wright Road and comes down next to the McGuan property. This is Sandy Way right here. So this intermittent stream runs in this general neck of the woods. So
Yeah.
this is the buffer zone. It's within the buffer zone to that particular intermittent stream.
And you were saying, Patty, when you moved in, that it was stone?
There was already stone and or gravel. I don't know what I should be calling it, but just like little crushed stone, I guess, was covering that whole area. And we actually years ago we replenished it one time and got more stone because that's originally the way it was, like I said, and then it just kind of got we ignored it a little bit and got a little overgrown, and there was some just a lot of leaves and things, a little bit of brush that we had put over there at different times, and we just decided to clean it up a couple of months ago. And yeah,
Okay.
so it's as simple as that, I guess. I mean,
Yep. Comments or thoughts from commissioners?
So Joanne, so McGlon property is that 81.47 foot? That's where that house went in?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That helps.
Yeah, and this isn't any removal of trees or anything like that.
Yeah.
oh no, we're not removing any trees.
Well, generally what we like to do in this situation is to come out, set up an appointment with you,
Yeah.
and, in a time that's agreeable to you and to us, and come out and just take a look.
Okay.
If that works for you.
Sure.
Is this something that we'd like to try to do on a Tuesday late afternoon?
Yeah.
Would that work for commissioners? Would that work for you, Patty? Is there someone around? Say this.
Like, would it be like next Tuesday, or
Well,
you're not quite sure?
it kind of depends a little bit on you and others, but yeah, we're not quite sure.
In like when you say late afternoon, like 3:30, 4 o'clock, something like that, or?
Probably more like 5:30, 5 o'clock or 5:30.
Okay. Yeah,
Or 6 o'clock or 6:30, it stays light late, so.
yeah, I mean, I usually get home at around 4 or 4:30. So that would work for me. If it was next Tuesday, just starting the Tuesday after that, I have a class that I'm taking, and I wouldn't be home.
Can commissioners do next Tuesday? Let's say 5:30.
I could do 5 o'clock, but I have a commitment starting at 6, so.
Okay, 5 o'clock. Anyone else?
Yeah, I can do
would
that.
be okay.
George, how about you?
Probably, I may be a little late, but yeah.
Okay. Then can
I'll be
some,
there.
great. Can
We could
someone,
do 5:15 if that would be easier for George.
5:20? Do I hear 5:20?
5:22.
Well, it depends on traffic. I'm driving back from Boston.
Let's do 5:15. If we can do that, if that works for you, Jen, then we'll give you a little bit of a buffer, George. So 5:15 at 34 Wright Road. And what's the date on that, please?
June 15th.
June 15th at 5:15. I'm not going to be able to make that. So that doesn't mean that you guys can't do it without me. I have more than ample faith. You all right with that? I know I can't make that date. That's locked in.
Does it have to be Tuesday, or do you want to do it Monday or Wednesday possibly?
it doesn't have to be a Tuesday. It works out better for Joanne because she sort of works late on Tuesdays and still on the clock.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, that's that.
What other time? Because Patty, you can't do it on following Tuesdays, starting a week after that one.
Yeah, starting on the 22nd.
Yep.
Could I just ask, Joe, I mean, is this one that we actually need to do a site walk on? Because Joanne, you've said there's some that you feel comfortable just giving us your opinion on, but others that you want us to see as well. What do you feel about the status of this one?
This one I think is simple enough where there's no ground disturbance.
Yeah.
Or no, no digging. It's
very flat. I mean, I know I drive by it every time I drive out, so
mhm.
I,
Well, I'm happy to do it myself. I think if we could do 5:15 and get at least a few of you there with me, then Patty gets to meet you first of all, which is always a good thing. Connecting each other, connecting us. But I'm happy to do whatever you would like me to do.
Then why don't we do 5:15 next Tuesday?
Okay.
And for those that can make it, they'll make it, and those
Yeah.
that can't, they won't.
All right. Sounds good. Okay. We'll see you.
Okay.
I won't, but a number of people will see you
Next Tuesday
Tuesday.
at 5:15.
Yes.
Okay, great. We'll see you
Right.
then.
Yeah. Thank you for your time this evening. Appreciate it. Oh, and
Thank you.
also, our next meeting will be in person. So
Okay,
we'll have to continue this until another meeting to vote on it. So more than likely, we're going to be meeting at Town Hall on Thursday evening, starting at 7 o'clock in the first floor meeting room.
okay.
That'll be the 24th.
Week from
Yeah.
today.
All righty.
Okay. And that's a Thursday.
That's Thursday evening.
Okay, great.
All right.
But will we have like a time to come as well, or do we come for the whole meeting when you meet in person?
Well, there'll be an agenda which will give a general time.
Okay.
we've been pretty good at keeping to a schedule lately.
Yeah.
We have.
Thank you, Jen.
Yeah, you got, okay.
I'll bring the sign to the meeting.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'll see you on the 15th.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Do you need a motion to extend or to continue these?
No.
RDs? Okay. All right. Thanks. All right. I mean, I know that area. I know where it is. I've seen it a bunch. I don't see an issue, but the next item this evening is a public meeting, is a request for an extension on, is it extension of the orders?
Yes.
Orders of conditions at 186 Woodland Way is DEP file number 100-0280. I wrote it down and I can't
Yep,
even.
That's right.
It is Assessor's Map 36, parcel 180. And who do we have from
Looks like we've got Deshang
have-
and
Deshan?
we have
Mika.
Mika, who it's very nice to see you.
Yes.
Nice to see everyone.
Nice to see you, Deshang. Mika and I have been emailing back and forth, and he's been providing plans, and I've never actually met you in person. So this,
Well, it's still not personal.
I know, this is as close as we're gonna get.
Maybe shortly, it will be in person. So what have you got for us?
Well, we'll try to keep it short and sweet, and maybe Deshaun can fill in. We have a property that's basically complete. Um, The lawn has basically been put in, but we want to get one growing season in, and the order expired yesterday. And DEP has an extension of, I believe it was it 90 days when the emergency order is lifted, that any state permits are still active, but we just wanted to make sure, kind of cover our base and ask for a 1-year extension, but we don't really think we'll need a 1-year time frame, but we just kept it simple, asked for 1 year.
All right.
Uh,
Shane, you have anything to add
Yes,
to that?
Shang may be able to, I think he's been on site more recently than I have. So he
Yeah,
maybe,
yeah, the house is finished, people has moved in, and actually, there's one thing, I met with the new owner, and they said they talked to Joanne about, because there's a stormwater management pond just next on their property. They want to know how to properly maintain it. And actually, that's the one I want to brief the commission. As any detention basins, we definitely don't want them to over maintain or mowing it, because the ruts, machine will kind of causing some kind of disturbance. But we don't want to leave it alone, and then too much the trees coming in, and especially that pond is just elevated above the roadway. We don't want anything woody plants, especially trees growing in the embankment and cause roots tunneling to causing future failure. So I know they say they want to know what they can do. I say, well, you can probably mow it around the top of it, once a week is okay, but if you want to keep that low growth, but not going on the slope, because it's very difficult and not easy to maneuver the machine, and it can cause some damage. But I recommend them, they can probably use the trimmer whacker to kill all the woody plants on the slope once a year, or maybe twice a year. That's what. So the rest of it looks very. The grass germinated well, and I haven't been there for the past week or so. But with all the recent rains, they probably should have grown better. So we can take a look of it tomorrow, since we do weekly inspections on Fridays. We'll make a note of it. But so other than that, it's probably we are in the process trying to get all the conditions closed. For this side, have a little bit complication is the affidavit with new owners. Sometimes the attorney closes it without signing that, but they sign kind of agreement, say they will sign the affidavit. It's making things a little bit complicated. I say, why not just write the affidavit? We already have a template, but that's not. I'm not an attorney. I'm not controlling it, but I did review and actually drafted the first draft of the affidavit based on all the conditions. So for that transaction and COC process, Joanne, you saw probably one or two of them already, right?
Yeah, we've gotten a couple of them already.
Right.
And as Desheng says, that the developers are in the process of meeting the homeowners and explaining the situation and getting the affidavit signed. The day I was out meeting with three homeowners who had basins on their property that they really had no idea how to cope with their basins. I saw Francis Desheng. I don't know if he told you, we caught up, and that was good. And it's very nice to talk to a group of the homeowners together, so that they all got the same information. They all learned about their wetland resource area and what the constraints were around that. Desheng, I passed on the information you gave me about how to maintain their basins.
Can I ask on that? Are these properties being sold with the
Jen?
expectation the homeowners are supposed to maintain the stormwater infrastructure that's there for the whole subdivision?
No, I don't think so. I think the one at the 186 or lot 137, the owner was just a very, seems like it's a very uh, enthusiastic, proactive person, and that they know it's not their responsibility. At least the wife knows, but the husband seems like it's like in a very working hard person. I appreciate that personality because myself is similar. I mean, I clear all the invasive species on both sides of my house lot. Even if it's not on my land, I just cannot take it. When I see it, I have to cut it. so I explained to them, and then I also know that should be after the certificate compliance. I assume the town should take over. DPW would take it over. If there's a homeowner to help with it, I don't see anything wrong with it, in my opinion. So, but they should know how to properly help, because if you don't know how to do it right, then your help become like in reversed.
Right,
Reverse.
so the situation we have with these three homeowners is that these basins are really part of their yard. And these folks want their yards to look nice and pretty is the word that I kept hearing. And how do you make a stormwater basin look pretty? So by being able to at least roughly mow the grass, leaving the grass tall, not planting woody things in the slope, everything that Desheng told me about, I passed on. And yet one of the homeowners called DPW, and the DPW superintendent said, do whatever you want. So, they're getting conflicting information, and it really is the slopes up to the basins that they feel is part of their yard. The interior of the basin is clearly the mechanical part of the stormwater basin, and DPW will be maintaining the inside. But it's, the slopes that really do seem like they're part of the yard of these homeowners that's the concern of the homeowners.
Yep. Are there any other comments from commissioners?
I would, because there's a lots of stormwater probably facilities from this point on. I would, so Joanne, I can help with start drafting up some kind of simple maintenance recommendation. This stage stormwater management report is just too overwhelming, too thick. People, if you have to go to find the proper way to deal with it, it's like find the needle in the hay. So
Right.
it can be very simple, one page, so say for the pond, it's just really what to do. And for underground infiltration trench, usually don't even think about it. So that should be the mostly, unless there's a home association. Otherwise, the DPW should also share with the same information, not just say do whatever you want, because that's kind of will counterproductive with the commission's mission and
I know.
right. So we probably been coming up like a very simple one page, either pamphlets or something can be easily either put on the web or given to the DPW. People can go to the website. I have a stormwater, maybe get a Q&A, say I have a stormwater so-and-so pond or things in my backyard. What should I do? And then the answer maybe using that things. It would helpful, and the hard copies can make it available if somebody coming to it. And this days, or either just email out a PDF file. It will help them a lot.
Yes, Desheng, that would be really helpful if you could draft up one for the BVW and one for the basins, because I get phone calls all the time from the people on the downhill side of Woodland Way that they just don't know.
Right,
So-
right.
And
No,
if
I
I-
know. Mhm.
If I may just interject real quickly. With the basins, I thought it was my understanding that there's a homeowners association
There is
with
one.
with the basins. I
Mhm.
believe that that's the case. So they're all contributing to an association for the maintenance aspect of it. And just looking at my understanding, they're going to be planting some Rosa rugosa around this particular basin. That's kind of going to be like the line of demarcation for any mowing that the people may want to do, or any landscaping or augmentations to what's out there. And how we have it right now is the drainage easement contains the toe of the fill, the structural elements of the basin berm. So
Yep.
that's really the line of demarcation of the infrastructure, you could say. But the aesthetic aspect, that forest slope that they're looking at, I mean, if they plant something more attractive than just grass, I suppose that's an option
Mhm.
as a homeowner.
Yeah, the homeowners just really don't understand. And Mika, you're the one I go to. And so you
And-
know exactly how many of the homeowners don't understand, because I ask you for the plans, and
Yes, and
that's super helpful.
and on the original subdivision plans, we may help Desheng too. There's the generic maintenance that we have on the stormwater sheet for construction. There's a recommended maintenance schedule on that. So we could regurgitate that. I mean, it's in a large plan sheet, but yeah, if it was simplified just onto an 8.5 by 11, some of the language as far as times of year and how to dispose, and
Yep.
some of those recommendations are already on the documents, but we can simplify it for the homeowner.
Yeah, this really points to the difficulty with putting stormwater infrastructure on somebody's personal house lot. You
Mhm.
get, it's,
And these happen to be some of the tighter lots in the development.
Yep. So
And if you want-
I'm just really grateful that the residents call our office, and they seem really receptive to having me explain things, and I'm really grateful that Mika doesn't seem to mind sending plan after plan after plan, so I can share them with the homeowners so they understand, these lots are pretty constrained. Um,
What's happening? I mean, because this is a huge subdivision, and there are a lot of areas where there are basins and structures that have been there for years now. Who's maintaining those at this point?
So
There's
my,
Desheng could probably answer that.
Yeah, so I know at this point, once a while was molded. That's why I'm not sure I get to probably talk to Mika to get that. I was not involved maybe originally, so I coming in the middle. So that's why I was not quite sure whether the maintenance is by homeowner associations, by the DPW after the certificate compliance. If it's by the home association, probably it is a time to even have some kind of a meeting on the side to see if they have a trustee, and just as Mika just mentioned, Mika, if you could, maybe can extract that, making into a Word file. And I feel from my experience, we know we created kind of a very lengthy operation maintenance, but I also know there's few people really follow through. I mean, I have never really seen one really fully follow it. We probably should come into a point as what are the most important things, like say what you shouldn't do, right?
Mm.
So like into digging out the soils right next to the edge of the pond and then putting flower beds or gardening thing. That should never happen. So they can mow it, say at least within like about 5-10 feet, but no soil disturbance, just simple as
It's
that.
not a yard clipping pile that.
Right,
they-
and no dumping.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't take it
exactly.
at a hole as a dumping ground. So the
Exactly.
second, and then the others. So if they can mow in it and clean the old structure, if any clips or the falling debris getting stuck in on the olive, they should be able to clean that. So if they can maintain those simple things, the detention basin, as far as from what I see, they will last in easily for 50 years without a problem.
So
So
I don't mean to cut you gentlemen off, but we need to move on. And if are there any other comments from commissioners or anyone viewing before we vote?
Just a quickie that, as this subdivision starts to come to a conclusion, we should hear from the developer something about, what is the responsibility of the homeowners association? When are they fully in control? Just so we know.
yeah, I would discuss with Duke, so, and then talk to Mika, we discussed that, so as one of the finalizing items, so.
And if you want to have and this is what happens if you don't maintain it, picture to put in your PDF, come by and take the shot of mine.
Oh. Anything else? Is there a motion to grant a request for an extension for 1 year on the orders of conditions at 186 Woodland Way, DEP file number 100-0280?
So moved.
Second.
It was moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Do a roll call vote. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Thank you.
Oh,
Okay, thank you.
thank you, Mika. Thank you, Deshang. It's nice to see you.
I see you.
Okay.
Oh,
Thank you for your time.
Sorry, Jen. We went way over.
I'm used to it. It's fine.
I know, he shouldn't be though. Our next item this evening is public meeting certificate of compliance at number 1 Groton Shirley Road, Linda Ferrante. DEP file number 100-0. Whoa, no, 100-140.
Yeah,
And 100- oh, it's got 2.
there are
It
2.
should be 0140 and 0152, right?
Okay, 0.
It's the same thing, I think.
Yeah. Okay, doke. 100-0140, 100-0152. Do we have someone representing Ms. Ferrante?
Yes, we do.
Yes, this is Kyle Croto for Miss Ferrante.
Good evening, Kyle. How are you, sir?
Good, how are you?
I'm all right, thank you. I'm all right. What do you have for us?
So there are 2 orders of conditions on this subdivision. It's a 15-lot subdivision that was put in 1996. So the orders haven't been released for the entire subdivision. There have been partial releases over the years, and Ms. Arante is planning to sell the property, and these came up in the closing attorney's title search. So we're looking to get them released so that she can go ahead and sell her property. So this is a 15-lot subdivision. So over the years, I'm sure there's been plenty of transactions with with all the different properties on the subdivision. So I don't believe that this order of conditions is still outstanding. There are a number of releases, and so we're just looking for either a full release for everything or just a partial release for our lot.
Oh.
So here's the desktop. This is the plan that kind of goes along with this request. This is Groton School Road and the intersection of Groton Shirley Road, and Linda's property is the one right on the corner. And these orders are so old that I don't even really know what they were for. You know, let me get this out of here, sorry. the old orders, just, you know, I think it's safe to assume that everything is fine and that we would be doing the world a good turn by just issuing complete COCs for these two old orders. But of course, it's up to you all.
So you're suggesting full COC, not the partial COC?
Yes. Yep.
Any other commissioners have comments on that? Thoughts?
It's fine with me.
Makes sense.
I agree.
Mark?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Any comments from anyone viewing? All righty. Is there,
I think we need two separate votes, one for each order.
okay.
So
Is there a motion to issue a certificate of compliance at number 1, Groton Shirley Road, Linda Ferrante, DEP file number 100-0140?
So moved.
Second.
It's moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Do a roll call for this one. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess, how do you vote?
I,
Mark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. That one passes unanimously. Is there a motion to issue a certificate of compliance at number 1, Groton Shirley Road, Linda Ferrante, DEP file number 100-0152?
So moved.
Second.
It's moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Do a roll call. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess, how do you vote?
I,
Mark, how do you vote? Is that an aye?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. I didn't hear you. Chair votes aye. And that one passes unanimously also. These are complete certificates of compliance.
yes. So Kyle, I'll have these ready by noon on Monday if somebody wants to come pick them up, or I can put them in the mail.
I'll come down and pick them up.
Okay, very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kyle. Have a good evening.
You too.
All right. Next item this evening is a discussion, conservation restriction draft at Panther Place, the OSRD subdivision. Do we have, what do we have?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Alex Parra, here on behalf of Northeast Site Development.
Good evening,
Also,
Alex.
Joseph Levine. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm very, very well, thank you.
Yeah, it's good to see you again.
And you. So,
Go ahead.
so several months ago, when the commission issued its conservation recommendation to the planning board, as well as the delineation of the wetlands on the property. We've been through the process with the planning board, an extensive preliminary subdivision process. And now we're in the definitive stage. As part of the definitive application to the planning board, part of our package was a draft conservation restriction, a draft homeowners trust. We were asked, with respect to the conservation restriction, to come before you because I think the planning board would like you to have input on the draft conservation restriction during the planning board process, which is anticipated to come to a conclusion on July 13. So Perhaps if I could share my screen, Joanne, would that be possible?
Go
Yes.
right ahead.
Let me see if I can. So can people see this plan?
Not yet.
Not
Mhm.
yet.
Let's try that again. Hold on.
Nothing yet.
No, we're trying.
There we go.
How's that? Okay. So this is the part of the definitive plan submission, which highlights the area that's proposed for the conservation restriction. It's 11.15 acres. It's consistent with the Conservation Commission's recommendation under the conservation analysis. I think there are just a few things to point out as they affect the drafting of the conservation restriction. And I should say, the draft we pulled from the basic format we pulled from the John Carroll Reserve Conservation Restriction, because that was one that had been approved both by the state town council and this commission before, and then attempted to adapt it to the facts of this subdivision. So the first thing to note is that unlike the John Carroll Reserve, instead of an easement from the subdivision way, in this case, we actually have a part of the proposed conservation area directly abutting the subdivision road. So draft conservation restriction does not include a separate access easement, but grants an access easement to the general public over the entire conservation parcel, including the strip. To cover the period of time before the subdivision ways are accepted as a public way, we've included in the conservation restriction the right to pass and repass over the subdivision way by foot to get to the conservation land. That will have effect so long as the subdivision way remains a private way. Once the town takes it as a public way, then the easement would be unnecessary. So that's the first difference from the way we drafted the John Carroll Reserve Conservation Restriction. The second thing to note is, at the request of the planning board, we've shown a schematic of, what walking trails could look like on, on the conservation parcel. So that's what's shown, here, these a shorter loop and a longer loop with access to the subdivision way. I would expect that the actual construction of the trails would be, determined in the field with the Conservation Commission or the conservation agent when it gets to that time. But we've included in the conservation restriction the right to create a walking trail no wider than 8 feet wide. And the discussion with the planning board has been in substance that the trails would essentially be just a clearing of a path, nothing constructed per se. So we're not altering the ground surfaces or anything like that.
Alex,
So,
can I ask you a question?
yeah, sure.
Just pertaining to that hiking trail? On the sort of the furthest away from the access, there's a couple of darker lines. Does that represent something, or is that just?
I think that's just the way it kind of showed up. It does not represent any
Okay. All right. Just
structure or anything like
okay. Doke.
that. And then if I can just switch plans here for a second. You see this plan?
Yeah.
This plan, the green areas in the plan show, drainage structures. So as part of the design of the subdivision, there will be, and I'm only addressing the conservation area. There's going to be down the access strip an underground pipe that connects this drainage structure called rain garden to what in effect is a swale back here. That was installed or requested by the DPW to handle potential overflow from the rain garden. And then there's also a detention area here. So the lot lines end here, and this section is going to be denoted as a drainage and grading area on the conservation restriction land. That total area of that is approximately 22,000 square feet, which is approximately 2.5% of the lot area. So we still, with respect to the conservation land, we still exceed the 50% with no drainage structures or any other type of structures, which I think was the guideline given by the conservation restriction. I mean, by the Conservation Commission in terms of what would be permissible in the conservation area. And so I guess the only other thing to point out is the conservation area includes the New England Power easement, which is this strip here. And so we've put into the conservation restriction that while the conservation restriction does not, preclude the prior rights of the power company, it does affect the landowner's ability to do anything in that area. So those are the differences, I think, from draft from the John Carroll Reserve conservation restriction that you previously approved. And I think it forms a sufficient basis to proceed with review of the conservation restriction by town council and the Commonwealth.
Comments from commissioners? Joanne?
I have a couple of questions. Alex, have you received permission from the power company to cross their land with a trail?
No permission has been requested yet. I'm not sure that any is required, but if it is, we would seek to obtain that.
Well, one of our commissioners works for National Grid. Mark, do you have any thoughts on this?
Since it is an easement, I don't think Grid has any say in the fact that people couldn't traverse it. I guess I'm still torn with the idea of the restriction being, I guess, hamstrung by the easement that allows the trimming and things like that. But I don't think there's really any way we can get around that. But yeah, to the extent of traversing it, Joanne, I think with it being just an easement, I'm not 100% positive if the easement precludes people from traversing it. So that's something that definitely should be reviewed. But
When it goes to town council, could we put
not
that
in
question to them?
ownership, I don't think there can be anything.
What are you saying, Jess?
When it goes to town council for review, that could be one of the questions we want them to weigh in on.
Yeah, I think so too. And then if the developer needs to get permission to cross an easement, yeah, I just don't know. And I think it's worth asking the question.
Right.
Yeah, before we sign it.
Yes. I was also looking at the conservation values that that were added into this draft that were pulled from the Oxbow conservation analysis. And I think that needs a little bit of expanding. Oxbow was a little short on their praise of the conservation values of this property, and I think we can find some other things to say about what a good and valuable conservation property this is. So commission, I basically need you to give me some direction here and tell me to go ahead and do a little bit more what I call conservation restriction ping pong with Alex, and we can get this thing in shape from our perspective too, before it goes to, I think I'd like to have it go to the state for just a kind of quick review before it gets sent to town council. And I really, I know it was probably a time saving effort, but I'm really wish that this hadn't been sent to town council before the commission had a chance to look at it. But now the commission has a chance to look at it, and they have a chance to give me some direction about how to move forward with this.
We have about 2 minutes left in the meeting.
Thank you, Jen. George, you have thoughts?
My only question is, will you be marking the corners of the conservation land?
Joe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you, can you, I guess you ask the question again. I'm just trying to make sure I understand clearly.
We're looking for monumentation on the boundaries.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. There'll definitely be monumentation, as well as the intent was, especially the lots in the back. My intent was to be able to place either, rocks or boulders or split rail fence or some kind of, object to demarcate, the end of someone's property and the beginning of the open space, so that there's a physical barrier to stop, the lawn creep. So people know this is where the open space is and this is where my property is. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's it.
And along this boundary here, the planning board had suggested, perhaps, planting of line of trees in order to demarcate from the drainage area as well.
Jen, you have thoughts?
No, not at this time.
Jess?
Just, Joanne, you said something about the access being on a different parcel or something earlier.
Well, I guess I didn't completely understand why the drainage parcel, the T-shaped parcel with the access to the cul-de-sac, why is that a separate parcel from?
It's not. It's so the dark line represents the boundaries of the conservation area. So the access strip is in fact part and parcel of the conservation land. It's not a separate parcel.
Okay, so these dotted lines, well, you can't see my cursor. It just looked to me, looking at the parcel, at the plan, the dot line around the drainage easement, that's just calling out the easement. That's not actually a separate
Correct.
parcel. Okay,
Correct.
so I understand now. Okay. And I think if Joe, if you want to go with me sometime over to John Carroll Reserve, I can show you our conservation restriction signs that we've had the developer there post on posts, and some corner markers, kind of flush corner markers for each of the house lots. Lawn creep is a real thing, and people throwing yard debris over the line becomes a monitoring and stewardship issue. And so the clearer we can make that boundary, either, as you say, with a fence or rocks interspersed with signs on posts and making sure everybody knows where their lot lines are, just makes for good neighbors all the way around.
That's fine. I'm happy to do that. And also too, I hope the board would notice that when we, work through many iterations with the planning board, Alex, if you could zoom right out for a quick heartbeat on the plan, to your point about people knowing, where their property ends and where the conservation begins, is why we really pained and spent a lot of time to make the property lines as straight and geometric as possible. So it's pretty straightforward that, with a little bit of plus and minus error, that there's a straight line runs at the back of people's property. So it's not up and a down and a left and a right. That, look, it's from here, just for the normal guy living there, it's here all the way across. And we thought that would be important to be able to demarcate, to make it obvious for down the road when someone's living there. You really should, there's going to be no excuses of not knowing that wasn't, conservation land.
Yes,
And I think, having those straight lines, make that possible.
yeah, that's great. And that's what happened on John Carroll Reserve to a large part too. And so when you cite down a line and it's conservation sign after conservation sign, there's no question.
It becomes hard to plead ignorance.
Yes,
So.
exactly. So commission, we could probably make a recommendation, just a casual recommendation to the planning board about monumenting lot corners and signs on posts, and because a lot of this end of the subdivision is out of our jurisdiction. The north end is really out of our jurisdiction, but we want to make sure that everybody knows everything they can know. And I see that it's 8:34 and it's pumpkin hour, so.
Yeah.
Joanne, can you just provide, has the planning board totally agreed to this plan? This is the plan that they've agreed to, the lot sizes and dimensions and all that stuff? That's all done?
It will be by it's anticipated to be by July 13th. And there's one more planning board meeting before then.
Can we just zoom into that upper right-hand corner there, I guess, if you don't mind? So if I'm reading these correct, like these are, right, so 25-foot, 50-foot, and 100-foot buffers, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Is there planning board, and forgive me for my ignorance, but is there a certain lot size that has to be provided?
No, not under the OSRD. There is no minimum lot size.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought, kind of the whole idea behind OSRD. I guess I'm just wondering, you know, I appreciate your idea of a straight line, but at the same time, like, could that not have been an angled but yet straight line that would maybe encompass more of the buffers on those back properties? Because at the end of the day, property owners are not really going to be able to do anything back there anyways. It would add to your, you know, increasing the conservation area. It just seems silly that would have been cut quite like that.
Well, to maybe answer your question, you know, there was significant amount of time spent on this. And again, these front two lots in the top right corner, those are actually outside of the subdivision. Those are A&R lots. So those have to comply with the standard zoning rules and regs. And then there also is the limit that, you know, there's this 55% open space. So 55% has been given. So and again, a lot of this has been balanced with a lot of other comments from other people as well. So again, the top, yeah.
I wasn't so concerned about lot A and, is it A and B there maybe? But maybe that's the second, right below where it says wetland resource area, right?
Yeah.
That blue line there. And why would you not have brought that down on somewhat of an angle to encompass, let's say, the 25-foot buffer? Again, as you said, maybe keeping it.
I can actually tell you exactly why. That is, so when we come back at a future date and time, I have planned with the town's new local wetland bylaw to allow myself to put house footprints that do not push anywhere further into your buffer than I need to. So that lot is a little wider so that I can build a house that is not as deep, but a little wider, and then respect the town's 50-foot buffer line that they've recently adopted. So there's everything has a rationale. So so when you look at that one lot, why is it wide? It's wide to stay away from the wetlands. And to allow for turning radius and things like that.
Yeah. Can I ask one little question? Each of the lots has, is that just the driveway, rough driveway footprint that's shown?
Yeah, these are rough driveways.
Okay.
You know, they were enough to give the, you know, I gave the engineers, you know, general case scenarios, but they always calculated to, you know, the largest scenario. And then when we come back in, they'll be refined.
Yeah, so those aren't, houses are not indicated on this plan.
No, those are just approximate locations of driveways.
Okay.
Yeah, and Jess, as you were saying that, I was thinking the same thing too. As I looked closely at this, initially when we had zoomed out, I thought those were literally the houses.
No, those are just approximate driveways with turnarounds, you know, to give the engineers. I never want to set the engineers up. So I said, use this. This will be more than we probably ever going to do, or at least what we're going to do. So the calcs will all work and things like that. So.
Okay, and that helps, Joe. Thank you. I was, like I said, I was under the impression, I'm looking at this, I'm saying, wow, if that's the house,
yeah.
Why do they need to be so far? So that is that's definitely helpful.
And again, to add to, you know, we were planning all these lots to stay away as much as possible, you know, to respect the town's recently adopted wetlands bylaw. So that's why certain things like lot 1 is shaped the way it is.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Well, I think we're We're pushing our luck as far as time here.
So should we just give Joanne the authorization to do back and forth on tweaking some of those things to enhance the conservation value aspect?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Everyone agree to that?
Yep.
Yes.
And if
Yeah.
we, again, find out about the easement.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen.
Very good. Thank you very much. Appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time tonight.
Yeah, nice to see you.
And you.
Have a good evening.
Have a
Good
good
evening.
evening. Yep.
Will we discuss this further at our next meeting? Or,
I can give you an update of how far we've gotten in our game of CR ping pong at our next meeting.
Okay, good. That would be good.
Yeah.
okay.
And when is your next meeting?
The 24th.
Very
Which
good.
will-
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alex.
Good night.
Good night. We're not going to get to our next two discussions. I'm pretty sure
No?
without a nope. All right. Any other comments? Any other brief comments before we call it a night?
My one little tiny brief comment is that the subdivision plan for Stratton Hill has been submitted to the planning board.
Oh,
The definitive plan. They're opening the public hearing on that July 13th, and I have a full-size set of plans in the office if anybody wants to come in and take a look.
okay. You don't mind us coming in?
Nope. Town hall's open to the public. You're welcome. Come on in.
With masks on.
With masks?
Well, it's recommended. We can't require it, but if you
Okay.
come in my office, I will be wearing a mask.
Okay. All right. Any other comments or thoughts from commissioners? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
It was moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Do our last roll call vote. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jen, I'm sorry. Jess, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mark, how do you vote? Chair votes aye. We are adjourned.